What's up, everybody? It's Jordan, and welcome to the Sports Suit Hine Show. We're getting closer to the 2024 NFL Draft. Everybody knows that the Bears are going to be taking Caleb Williams with the first pick, but the draft really starts with the second pick with the Washington Commanders. We've heard Jaden Daniels. We've heard J.J. McCarthy. We've heard Drake May. We're just not sure who Washington would take with the second pick. So I'll be doing a Washington 7-round mock draft, and with their second pick overall, I have them taking LSU quarterback Jaden Daniels. I think he's head and shoulders much better than J.J. McCarthy. I don't get the hype with him. It just does not make any sense to me. I don't know why any team in the top 5 would draft McCarthy. I think Daniels is better than Drake May. But Daniels, to me, I think is the best fit. He's the best quarterback available at number 2 for Washington. And you desperately need a quarterback. Obviously, you're going to take one at 2. You do not know who it's going to be. They signed Marcus Mariota in the offseason to kind of be a mentor to whatever quarterback they end up choosing. But I really like this Daniels pick here, taking him second overall. When you look at Washington, they had the third amount of fewest interceptions last season. They only had 8 interceptions on defense this past season. In the second round here with a 36th pick, they end up taking Alabama cornerback Kool-Aid McKinstry. I love this pickup here. He's a guy who honestly shouldn't probably already be gone here with a 36th pick overall. But if Washington's able to get a corner like him, that would be fantastic for their defense. And, he's a guy who, is the best corner probably available here, one of the best players available here. Anytime you get a best player available and team need, that's an A-plus pick, in my opinion, pretty much 9 times out of 10. But great pickup here for Washington. And, Washington's offensive line play is very inconsistent. Sam Howell was the most sacked quarterback in the league this past season. So they could really use some offensive lineman help since we did not take one with the second pick or the 36th pick. Washington has 2 second-round picks. So with their second-round pick, they end up taking Houston offensive tackle Patrick Paul. I love this pickup here. I think Paul around this range is the best tackle available. I'm a big Bengal fan. I would not be upset if Cincinnati maybe even traded back in the early second round or maybe traded up in the second round and got Patrick Paul. He's a great tackle. In 469 passing snaps this past season for Houston, he allowed just 1 sack and he only allowed 1 quarterback hit. I feel like something also to look at Patrick Paul, his brother, Chris Paul, is a guard for the Washington Commanders. So his brother already plays for Washington on the offensive line. So there's a connection there. I'm sure his brother, has kind of talked to, some of the coaches in a GM to try to maybe get his brother to join him on Washington's team. But I love this pickup here. Them getting Patrick Paul with the 36th pick overall. When you look at Washington this past season, they had his 7th fewest sacks in the NFL. They got an edge rusher here in the third round. They take Western Michigan edge rusher Marshawn Nealon. I like this pickup a lot here. Nealon's projections are absolutely everywhere. I've seen him be a top 45 pick. Then I've seen him be like the 75th or 80th pick in the draft. It makes absolutely no sense. It's really crazy when you look at some of these different people's projections like Daniel Jeremiah, Mo Kiper Jr., some of these people. But getting probably the best player available here for Washington is a really, good idea. And getting edge help is a good idea as well. With them losing Chase Young was not what they really expected him to be. And this defensive line for Washington is not what it was just a couple years ago. But this is a great pickup here for the Commanders. With the 78th pick, they take Alabama wide receiver Jermaine Burton. This is a fantastic pickup. He only had 39 receptions this past year for the Crimson Tide, but he had 800 yards. He averaged 20.5 yards per reception. He had 8 receiving touchdowns this past year for Alabama. Get some more wide receiver help. They lost Curtis Samuel to the Buffalo Bills in the offseason. Really like that pickup there. So when you're looking at these, picks so far for Washington, I feel like every single one is a absolute 100%, A-plus, draft selection so far for them. With the 100th pick, they take Ohio State tight end Cade Stover. This is a really nice pickup. They've yet to take tight end. And Stover can kind of, be the eventual replacement for Zach Ertz. They signed Ertz in the offseason. Stover can learn a lot from Zach Ertz. This is a really nice pickup here. He had 40 receptions this past season, nearly 600 yards. 5 touchdowns this last year for Ohio State. So you get some tight end help with the 100th pick. And then in the 5th round, they get a little bit more offensive tackle help. They get Javon Foster from Missouri. Probably the best tackle around this spot here in the draft range. I think that's a nice pickup here, getting some more offensive lineman help. You can never have too many good offensive linemen. With the 5th round, with the 152nd pick overall, they take Georgia safety Tyke Smith. This past season, he had 70 tackles, 8.5 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, and 4 interceptions. I like this pickup. He's a guy who should probably be gone at this point. I think he's the best safety when it comes to rounds 5, 6, and 7. This is another A-plus pick here for the Washington Commanders. Pretty much every single pick so far, on this mock draft to me is more than likely going to be best player scenario. So this is a really, really nice situation for Washington. So like I mentioned, Washington had the 3rd fewest interceptions this past season. They only had 8 interceptions last year. That is very, very bad. They got Kool-Aid McKinstry with the 2nd round pick. They get a little bit more cornerback help here with their final selection in the draft. They ended up taking Marshall cornerback Micah Abraham. Abraham is the only player in the country to have 15 passes defended each of the last 3 years. He's been very, very underrated this past couple of years. He's had 11 interceptions in the last 2 seasons. I'm kind of surprised he's not getting kind of more, talks about being, one of the better corners when it comes to rounds 6 or 7. He's not really getting talked about much. It's kind of weird to me. I think he's much better than people realize. He should get more, draft recognition. But they get more corner help to end this mock draft here. So they desperately need corner help. They got Micah Abraham and Kool-Aid McKinstry. They get their quarterback of the future with Jaden Daniels, the quarterback from LSU. Overall, I think it's a fantastic mock draft here for the Washington Commanders. Let me know what you think of this mock draft in the comments. That about does it for this video. If you're new to the channel or you've seen my videos before, make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time on the Sports Behind Show.